Hello and welcome to my recap of the super match that recently happened between Park Chung-won, the number 2 player in the world, and Shin Jinseo, the number 1 player in the world. This was the grand finals of a 5v5 team match in Korea that was sponsored by Hana Bank. It was a match between Team Millennials and Team Zoomers. So they had an age cutoff at 1997. If you're born in 1997 or earlier, you're in Team Millennials. Team Zoomers, 1998 and later. Shin Jin-seo was born in 2000. Park Chung-won was born in 1993. But they had four teammates, each of them, who were knocked out in a knockout stage before this. I can show the graphic from Buduk TV. By the way, you can watch a Buduk TV live commentary of this game. I've linked it in the description. They had this nice graphic showing who was who won the games. Han Tae-hee started by winning 3 games, then finally Kim Si-hoon won 2 games for the Zoomers, brought them to An Sung-jun. He's the strongest Go player to have ever been seen on Twitch, I think. Maybe close to Choi Cho-han. He beat Kim Si-hoon, but he was not able to beat Shin Jin-seo, who then also won against Kang Dong-yoon and brought us to the finals against Park Jung-won. So this is for all the marbles. Which generation is stronger at Go? Well, Shin Jin-seo has been the world number 1 player for quite some time now, several years, but Park Jung-won has also been the world number 2 player for quite some time now, and he was even the world number 1. And he was even the world number 1 before Shin Jin-seo was. They both have won 4 or 5 international world championships, depending on whether you count the Blitz ones. Park Jung-won is my favorite player, and I think he has the best understanding of Go that any human has ever had until he taught what he knew to Shin Jin-seo. Shin Jin-seo has gotten so good these days. His nickname is Artificial Shintelligence. A pun on artificial intelligence. The difference in rating between him and Park Chung-won, the number 2, is the same as the difference in rating between Park Chung-won and the 35th best player in the world. It's massive. So let's see how these two play against each other and watch the game. This game was played with a 20-minute main time and 20-second Fisher time. So every time they play a move, they get another 20 seconds on their clock. It allows for some more interesting TV show style games. So Korea has been using it a lot, and I think to great effect. It's a lot of fun to watch. If you ever catch a stream live, go subscribe to Buduk TV if you're interested in that kind of thing. Shin Jin-seo plays a very territorial opening this game. You can see he played a small Knight's Enclosure in the upper right, a Shusaku Diagonal in the bottom right, and a 3-3 Invasion in the bottom left. These are all like the most territorial things you can do, or close to it, in each corner. He's also quite a good influential player, but I think these days he's on a bit of a territory kick. He seems to enjoy trying to get as much territory as possible. Park Chung-won could have Tanuki'd rather than continuing to extend a couple times in his Joseki, but it's common to try to nullify the influence that this Shusaku diagonal makes by getting stronger on the bottom side if possible. So Park Chung-won just decided to play again, take Gote, and allow Shin Jin-seo to approach in the upper left. Shin Jin-seo tries to build on the top side. So all of this so far has been quite standard. I think that they're still in fuseki, meaning that they have researched this exact position with AI before. It's just a hunch, I'm not entirely sure. But when Park Chung-won invades here and Shin Jin-seo attaches, Park Chung-won can wedge, and Shin Jin-seo, normally you would expect him to Atari on the top side, because white has both ladders if you play on the bottom side. What ladders am I talking about? Well, one of them almost happens in the game. Black Atari is this way, and this way. It looks like it should be impossible, because normally, when we think of this Joseki, Black doesn't play here now, but we think of Black playing here, and white capturing in a ladder towards this area. This is unsatisfying for Black, and Shin Jin-seo knows that, so he was never intent on fighting the ladder at all, but instead of fighting a Ko. I believe this was prepared with AI. Oh, this Ko is possible to play in this total fuseki position. He plays Invasion here. White plays this one. So, well, what does that have to do with the Ko? Are they just going to invade now and give up the top side? No. You definitely can't do that. We can't just give up so easily. Shin Jin-seo makes the Ko bigger, like this. This is very risky to do like this, because when White captures, if White will win the Ko, on the next step, then the black stone here that was just detarring a stone will become completely wasted. So black needs to have a serious co-threat. Before he played this exchange in the upper left, he didn't have very many good co-threats, but now he can play extend here. This threatens to capture the 2 stones on the top. So if Park Jungwhan would fix the ko, black will hane on top of the 2 stones and save both of his groups while capturing a large amount of territory. Park Jungwhan cannot do that. Park Jungwhan tries to hane here first. He's looking to make more ko-threats of his own, so to fight his own way, not follow along with Shin Jinseo's plan. Shin Jinseo captures the ko once first. He's trying to exchange it once. This should be sente. Park Jungwhan has to respond here. Then if Shin Jinseo loses the ko later, then that stone that Park Jungwhan has just played will become wasted. So it's important for Shin Jinseo to try to get this exchange in while he can. Now that he's done that, he can respond in the lower left. Okay, Park Jungwhan now has prepared a lot of ko threats, but the ko on the top side has become less good. So for now, he won't do anything with it, but instead chase the upper left 2 stones. He's trying to get a lot of influence here so that winning the ko on the top side means capturing all of the black stones. If black becomes a very small life in the corner, that's good too. So black doesn't want to go along with Park Jungwhan's plan. He trades back. He chooses to connect here. He means if he would just have connected, then white would have been able to save those 3 stones with a cut and Atari and take some space on the top side. But when he does this first, now if he wins the ko, all of the top side is black territory. So he's made the ko much bigger for himself, and he's planning to use his upper left group, saving that as ko threats. Because when he plays here, if white would just not respond again, then black could again go to hane in the center. White must answer. Then black can really try to win this ko. White still has prepared his ko threats, like this. But black has prepared some ko threats of his own. He plays the attach here. Now, if white would connect, because white has that awkward square stone on the top side, it's not as brilliant of a shape as it used to be. And black's hane on the side here could break the left side potential for white. So white chooses not to do that, but instead to emphasize his influence and securing that upper left group surround. Black would like to recapture the ko now and really fight it. But actually, once he's made this exchange, it's become quite heavy, this group in the upper left. He chooses to play another move like this. This is very common. Instead of playing just one ko threat, sometimes we have to play a sequence of moves as a ko threat, because the first one makes it very important for our opponent to play another move. Then we need to finish our sequence so that when we capture the ko, we don't give our opponent just a free move. I mean, if black plays here, white will go take this move. White captures the whole upper left, and because black made that extra exchange, the white shape is extremely strong. It's hard for black to imagine using any kind of weakness in the upper left later. The thickness radiates. That's why black pulled back first. Now white can connect, fix his cutting points, and black now can retake the ko. If white kills this group, it's no big deal, as long as the white killing is hard, as long as white still has a lot of aji. So black isn't concerned to live the group, he just wants to make sure it doesn't die too badly. White plays a ko threat. If black ignores, white will split the black knight's move in the upper right. That's bigger than dying, actually. So black needs to answer, and white can capture again. Black plays the hane here. White should cut that, keep the black upper left surrounded. And when black recaptures the ko, white makes his last sente in the bottom left and plays here, intending to finish the ko, allow black to connect it, and capture the left side with minimal aji. Because black exchanged another cutting move, white is happier now that this upper left area has less aji that black can use. Still, you could argue it's a bit of a success for black. Black managed to capture the top side that he had sort of loosely aimed for earlier. White made a few exchanges in the bottom left, which are maybe a little bit bad, and got his upper left, which he already had some claim to anyways, in much better thickness. The game goes on. It's still close. Black approaches the group in the bottom right. Park Jungwhan exchanged a hane here. Black answers and pushes here. Park Jungwhan's idea is to try to use the aji of these 3 stones in the center. So if black will hane here, he means to cut and get a ladder breaker, somehow to pressure this 1 stone on the right side. That's why black instead chooses to jump, keep himself as strong as possible while capturing. White turns in the center. The jump didn't apply the maximum amount of liberty pressure to those 4 stones on the top side for white. When white turns, he means to say that the black group, which is capturing them, may have some liberty pressure of its own. Black ignores. For a move, he tries to challenge that the right side is big, and that there's nothing white can do immediately to really strike at the top side. Well, white disagrees. He extends once, so to give himself 6 liberties, black jumps in the center, ignoring that group again. But at this point, it makes sense to jump here. He is trying to use the weakness of the white 3 stones on the outside, make sure that black gets the most that he can towards the right side before he actually has to spend a move on the top side. White makes a pushing exchange and jumps here. So his intent was that he could fix his 3 stones weakness and build the left side, still forcing black to spend another move on the top. But Shin Jinseo found a great tesuji here, which was hane, and when white hanes, cut. It forced Park Jungwhan to Atari here. Now if Shin Jinseo would connect that, he would have a very awkward B2 bomber shape. He would have a B2 bomber with 2 empty triangles. So instead he chooses to sacrifice that stone, Atari twice, and maximize his liberties on the top side. This was a very elegant sequence by Shin Jinseo because the top 6 stones for white are now cleanly dead. If white would try to start a capture race, he could play to break black's eye on the top side. Black would descend here, and now white would have 6 liberties and black would have 6 liberties. But white plays first. It seems like white should win this kind of capture race, except once you play it all out, you'll realize white cannot approach the last black liberty. On both sides, it would be self-Atari. So black had planned that liberty tesuji all the way back when he originally played the hane and cut. He knew that when he played the blocking move on the top side, that he would win the liberty race by 1 move, that it would be clean, and that he would get a lot of stuff on the outside for his trouble. It was a brilliant sequence, actually maximizing his outside benefit while he takes the top side. Park Jungwhan doesn't trigger any liberty race now. He wants to wait, see if he can use his aji from the center instead. He chooses to build the center and the left side. And Shin Jinseo tries to cover that aji in the center by playing the knight's move, building the right side. Park Jungwhan goes to defend his group on the right. Shin Jinseo plays a reducing move in the center. This kind of move is really interesting. You should put it on the place where your opponent doesn't know whether they should attack or defend. Now, if Park Jungwhan would defend his left side territory, he may feel that it's too small. But if he would attack, this black group should have easy routes out. It's far enough away from the white influence that it wouldn't really die. White plays here. Park Jungwhan's idea is, hey, if I cannot do anything substantial with your 1 stone right now, then why don't I make a story somewhere else? If I have to save this group, then I can use your weakness, the fact that that group, that 1 stone group, reducing my center is not really strong, to gain strength with another group which is reducing your area. So Park Jungwhan has an idea already for how he can gain by territory. He doesn't just take the awkward decision and choose the best of 2 bad options. He makes his own option. You can see both players have a lot of spirit when they play this game. And Shin Jinseo's spirit is to say, hey, if your idea is that you'll be able to defend that group, then I won't attack it right away. He says, let me lean on your bottom left group. If I get a lot of strength from this, then maybe I can naturally surround your 1 stone that's reducing. Well, white needs to answer this leaning, and black leads again. And white needs to answer again. Make sure that black doesn't get any serious cuts against the white shape. Black covers in the center. So black is really intent on taking some big influence in the center, making this 1 stone very awkward to run out already, just naturally. It also makes a big move of this second line block or push, depending on which color you are. Do you think it's important to play on the second line or to play somehow in the center? You can feel free to pause the video and consider. Park Jungwhan played the empty triangle here, which means that once black blocks, he intends to push here, and he's just leaving himself an Atari as follow-up. He chose the second line rather than the center. The reason why, if black had taken that, then this white group could become weak later and leave some endgame problems. So when white takes it, if it reduces a huge amount of black's territory, then both sides have really big follow-ups to this kind of second line move. If both sides have much bigger than natural follow-ups, even a second line move can be big in the middle game. Black just extends, so he doesn't want to get Atari'd. He covers it, and he covers his Aji in the center, trying to continue to naturally surround that one white stone. If Park Jungwhan would straightly defend that stone, then Shin Jinseo would get a free attack, and it would be an easy game for him. That's why Park Jungwhan plays instead to sacrifice. So when he leans here, he's fully expecting Shin Jinseo to push, and he jumps, and he allows Shin Jinseo to capture that one stone. So Shin Jinseo pushes again. Shin Jinseo has swallowed this area, but Park Jungwhan says, hey, when I played from the second line over here, that's actually not so big in the center there. White plays this move. The natural move is just to lean here, but it leaves a lot of potential for black to do stuff on the bottom left, where this white group is not that strong. Instead, Park Jungwhan emphasizes that group by playing the large knight's press and says, hey, black cannot run through right now. He's just too weak. Well, Shin Jinseo recognizes he's on defense, so he plays a move running to the left side, trying to get as much space as possible. He plays the large knight. And if Park Jungwhan will just naturally attack this, then Shin Jinseo will be able to gain power and start striking at the weight weaknesses. So Park Jungwhan goes a little crazy right now. He plays a tesuji right away. He plays this move. It intends to cut. He doesn't cut from the bottom side, but from the top side because he doesn't have as much power there. When black plays this block, now he can cut from here and extend here. So he's assured of spending his two moves there. What he's done is he's effectively split these two black groups. They cannot connect to each other either anymore. Black should be able to get a lot of Aji from this kind of situation. So he started a fight, but white has many weaknesses nearby. It seems like black should be able to save his two stones inside, but it's going to be tight. If black just has to sacrifice from the outside, it might not be effective enough. Maybe the white left side will be too big. So what Shin Jinseo does is he tries to Atari here and play the Tiger's Mouth connect. White needs to fix his cutting point, and Shin Jinseo jumps down to the left side. So he intends to make some eye space on the left and use the remaining cuts in the center to show that the white groups are not that strong. But Park Jungwhan is going to enter the killing attacking mode. These stones, aren't they too much? You're really going to be able to save there in the middle of all of my influence after I just cut you? Park Jungwhan plays the peep first, trying to force black to connect and therefore lose a lot of eye-making potential with his group. Black resists. He pushes here. So white also resists. If you would just cut, then black would get a lot of power outside, maybe be able to make a sacrifice again. White plays the peep. He intends for black to connect somehow and then to play another outside attacking move, so to force this black into a small space. Black resists again. He plays the attach outside. You can see it's a constant battle of wills between these two players. They both understand their opponent's good challenge, that their opponent is making a real plan to win the game, and they make their own plan in response. It's a very beautiful kind of go. Now, if white would respond to this in any way, then black is planning to use whatever weakness white presented to gain as much power as he can towards the center. That's why white played here. Not a direct response, but a probing response, where he's looking to get power towards the black broken bamboo shape and the cuts present there, and then decide how to play on the top side. If it had instead been, for example, this move, then black could get a nice split like that. If it had been the Hane, black could get a nice cut like that. If it had been Hane below, then black could get a nice pressing move and play some moves in the center. Park Jungwhan has denied these moves by playing the bump here. Shin Jinseo is in big trouble with his group. It's killing attacking. Shin Jinseo needs to find some way to either save this group or get a very nice sacrifice. Shin Jinseo starts with this one, so trying to keep pressure on those 2 stones. He intends for Wait to just back off, save those 2 stones, and then Wait would be allowing some kind of net where Black could take control of the center, sacrificing these stones naturally. That's why instead of that, Park Jungwhan goes all out. He plays the extend here, really sealing this black group in and saying, hey, you can try to chase those 2 stones, but I'll be able to save them. So when Shin Jinseo connects here, Park Jungwhan Hanes connects, plays Tiger's Mouth here, threatening to link up. Shin Jinseo Tenukis. Black, almost in a panicked way, plays attach here. He's looking to just get a little bit more strength to try to seal this white group in. If Wait would try to connect to the side, Wait plays the push and cut. So this gives Wait more power regarding that connection, but it gives Black a nice vital point to take of his own. So Black now cuts the Wait group. Wait can connect back this way. Black attaches here once. They are now both at the end of their main time. So that means all they get now is the 20 seconds per move. When they play a move, they have very limited reading time, and the reading that they do within that constraint is so impressive. Let's see the game. Park Jungwhan cuts this black group off. He's still trying to kill the black group on the left side. Black plays the block here. Park Jungwhan can only play the empty triangle. He's saving his 4 stones as long as nothing on the outside for Park Jungwhan will collapse. Then if these black stones inside are dead, it's going to be too much territory. Black has already paid a lot while making these exchanges. Black blocks once. White plays an asking move, looking to connect to the bottom side, and plays this Hane. Now, Black can't block that because White would have a double Atari. That's why Black plays in the center now. This is his only remaining option, is to somehow make a cut in the center and make a fight. There's a Ko here, and Black has many Ko threats. Maybe something can happen. Black chooses to connect here first and cut here. White captures. Black plays a Ko threat on the right side. Now, if White would win the Ko, then dying with the whole right side would be too much. So White needs to answer that Ko threat and allow Black to recapture. And White just connects here. If White doesn't have to win this Ko, that would be ideal. And if Black makes a whole bunch of bad exchanges trying to win the Ko, and then White wins the Ko, it's also better than just winning the Ko directly. So White doesn't try to make any fancy Ko threat exchange right now, allow this black group to save. No. Try to be stable here. We just connect, we allow Black to cut, we capture once, force a Ko threat out, extend, and just extend again here. Ideally, we do not have to win this Ko. We can save every group separately, right? Right? The thing about playing against Shin Jinseo is it's just never easy to win. He just doesn't lose. He just doesn't lose. Whenever someone is leading against Shin Jinseo, he poses the most complicated questions, the most hard ways to actually finish him off that he can think of. Shin Jinseo plays here. It sort of nets these 4 stones. Sort of. White could break out, but sort of. And when White breaks out here, well, maybe Black would be able to surround the other group. So Black is now playing this Ko with 2 targets. First target is those 4 stones, and second target is the other White group in the center. White just needs to be able to save both sides, or at least get them enough liberties to capture the inside Black. That Black inside group, let's imagine that White exchanges the bamboo, right? Then it would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 liberties, dependent on the Ko, right? White captures the Ko once first. So for now, we have to force Black to get enough Ko threats to really make his answer everywhere. Black exchanges this move and plays here. Wait, what? He didn't recapture the Ko? Well, if Black would try to recapture the Ko now, what he realized is he doesn't have any Ko threats left. So White would be able to push here and play here, and there's no Ko threat remaining that's big enough for Black to justify giving up these 2 stones. He could cut this off, or he could try to play here or something. There's just nothing that he can do. So when he exchanged this, he actually lost a co-threat and couldn't recapture the ko because he wouldn't have the threats anymore. He instead had to play here. It's sente on these 4 stones. Now if black would capture the ko, it would really be a threat to capture these 4 stones. So somehow Park Jungwhan should answer. He should save them. He could connect, he could Atari, he could jump. In the game he chooses jump. So what he thought was, I need to save my 4 stones, I need to save the center stones. Let me play the move that has the most effect on the center, that helps the most, the move that gets ahead the most. So that's why he played here. But it was actually the losing move. This move, it was a losing move. Actually, both of the other options worked. Oh, so painful. So painful. Shin Jinseo, like the #1 Go player he is, doesn't miss a beat. He pushes here. Finds the winning sequence. When he pushes here, Wait needs to extend. Save those stones. Then he can capture this ko. Wait needs to answer. And he can push here. Finally, this splitting move gives black the chance to make an Atari on these stones, which fixes the black cuts in the center. Additionally, as black has done this, he's managed to capture the ko while splitting this Wait group from the center on the right side. But you might be wondering, well, why can't White just run to the top side? White tries. After exchanging this bamboo, he plays the connect here. Black can wedge, cut, and cut. Now, because of the shortage of liberty, White cannot escape to the top side. And this White group, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties. Oh, the black group has 6. Oh, it would 1 liberty, just 1 liberty, then White would have been able to capture this. And sure, black would be able to capture these 3 stones, save this, reducing tail, but still White would be leading by a lot because of all of the influence that they've gathered during this fight. White tries to push and cut, but when black plays here, it exchanges a liberty reducing move for the White group on the top side. White cannot gain a liberty by forcing any weird thing for black, by forcing black to cede the ko and cede the liberty on his side. Park Jungwhan resigns the game. So what was he supposed to do there? Why was it that the other moves worked and this jump didn't? Well, if White would connect here, then if black tries the same kind of idea and extends here, as in the game, White would be able to get the 5 liberties that he did in the game and then capture black in the corner. Black would be able to capture these 3 stones, but that isn't enough. White is cleanly winning this game. If, after this connect, black would try to play more liberty tight, like this, fill that 5th liberty while surrounding the White, White would be able to play this Hane and net these black 4 stones. So that connect would have worked, but also this one would have worked. Actually, immediately after the game, Park Jungwhan came back to this moment and showed this move. Then black can Hane here. White will have to answer here eventually. This would be the ending shape. Then black can try to chase the same way, like this. And when black cuts here, White can extend this way. Then if black connects here, White needs to push out to gain as many liberties as he can. Black needs to cut to prevent that, and White has this net. Park Jungwhan showed this immediately after the game. He knew that this was here. He just feared that he misread something about the outside surrounding shape. What can he possibly fear here? Well, if black would play the attach across, and White plays naturally to just extend and save this 1 stone, black has a net here. It looks like it wouldn't work, like White could break out, but black could extend here. And when White plays here, black has a crane's nest tesuji to capture that outside White. This could mean that White has to come back and capture the inside here very painfully to try to save this group while there's still a ko. This looks very scary. Now, AI tells me, and I believe that they knew after the game, that White could play here, be very liberty tight to this black group, and although black has a ladder This ladder is contingent on a ko. So there's no way that black would actually have enough ko threats to play out a ladder all the way to the side of the board from here. This variation would work for white, but very risky. So you can understand why Park Jungwhan instead went for this one. And they were reading all this out in 20 seconds. Can give him a little bit of a break here, right? My boy Park Jungwhan. But alas, in the end, Shin Jinseo, as always, never loses. He won the game, allowing the Zoomers to win the 5v5 match sponsored by Hana Bank. What a great game. What a great match. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Toodaloo.